The Himalayas, home to the highest mountains in the world, breathtakingly beautiful and extremely dangerous. From high-altitude passes and landslides to bad weather and worse roads, these mountains have them all. For the first time ever, one man and his friends have set out to conquer this mighty mountain range on the Bajaj Dominar.
I chose the Bajaj Dominar as my bike because I knew it could tackle the terrain and bring out the best in me.
Witness their journey as they take on the toughest riding conditions in the world. 15,000 kilometers at 17,000 feet across 3 countries. Welcome to the Bajaj Dominar roof of the World Odyssey. For the first leg, Sarath is joined by experienced biker Sumantra aka Moto Slug. After prepping their Dominars, the riders are all set to take on a challenge not many have attempted. Sarath and Sumantra set off from Delhi, heading to Sach Pass in Himachal Pradesh. The first challenge they encountered was heavy rain. The riding conditions were far from ideal, but the Dominars effortlessly tackled the wet roads. The riders dashed to Sach Pass, but nature had other plans. A major landslide had shut down the pass. They had no choice but to replan and head to Manali instead.
It was pitch dark through a forest area. Came to have seen a few animals. Thanks to good bright headlamps, we should not hit them.
It was good. The main road was blocked. So everyone was using this B road, which is not equipped to handle so much traffic. There was barely enough space for one car. So yeah, it was good exercise for the eyes.
Rohtang. We are heading out of Manali.
The riders were ready to ride to Leh through Rohtang Pass. But only a few kilometers down, they ran into trouble. Another major landslide.
It's all jammed up on the top.
So we're at Gulabo checkpost. I think muddy. The landslide has happened again.
I don't know if they're going to let us go.
They're not letting anyone go.
Yeah.
Even the petrol tax.
Take a U-turn, head back to the Burwa house.
The next morning, they had better luck. And they made it to Rohtang Pass. But the challenges had just begun. The journey to Leh was rough, the roads non-existent. The riders pushed forward with the Dominar's able suspension aiding them.
Arunachal, 4,850 meters.
Finally, against many odds and riding through 5 major Himalayan passes, they made it to Leh. Without much rest, Sumantra and Sarath set off for Kargil and onward to Zanskar.
Goodbye, beautiful tarmac. This is the very spot where the road ends and Zanskar begins.
They made it to Zanskar after a long and hard ride. And it is breathtaking.
The Dominar is holding up amazingly well. The suspension soaks up almost everything. With the amount of torque we have, we don't really need to shift through too many gears. It's been a lovely ride till now.
There's a walking path and you've got the motorcycle on it. Flip and forget. One thing I realized about the Dominar is its power to weight ratio. It's brilliant. It's got enough power to tackle these kind of terrains.
After filling petrol from a hand-tanked pump and water from a running stream, they headed back to Leh, where a pleasant surprise was waiting for them. Exhausted after their non-stop run to Zanskar, the riders were welcomed back by the colors of the Leh festival.
We are done with the checks at South Pulu. We are heading up towards Khardung now.
From Leh, it was onward to the legendary Khardung.
We are at the highest motorable road. They say top of the world.
And all the way to the northern border of India.
We are on our way to one of the last villages towards the LFC.
The roads were all uphill from here, but the Dominars held their ground.
It's going to be exciting on a clear day like this. Supposedly see the checkpost across the border or something.
हम जब कुछ खाते हैं पेड़ से तोड़ के खाते हैं सीधा.
After the northern line of control, the riders headed east towards Pangong Lake.
Welcome to the Pangong Lake.
Yesterday we were like right next to Pakistan border and today we are going to be right next to Chinese border.
As the riders wrapped up their adventures in Ladakh, they headed down south. But one last challenge remained.
We are done with Ladakh. We are in Himachal. Where are we heading today, Sarath?
We are heading to Spiti!
En route from Spiti to Delhi, the riders took time off to visit the ancient monastery in the Tabo Valley.
कितना साल पुराना है सर ये? 1200 years. Paintings inside were so amazing that both decided to buy multiple postcards.
The Ladakh and Himachal leg was a test for both the man and the machine.
Reflecting upon 1 month that I've been riding the Dominar across all these high altitude passes, all these places with no roads. One hell of a 40 bhp packed in that time. I'm going to miss this machine. It's the dependability which matters. I'm mighty impressed.
After an exhilarating ride through Himachal and Ladakh, a new rider joined Sarath. They rode through Uttarakhand, the abode of the gods.
We had to do slight fine-tuning on the bike and we got that done. We will now begin the ascent to Rishikesh.
As soon as the riders started the climb, the view became breathtaking. It would have been a sin to not stop and capture the majestic sights.
This isn't beautiful, what else is?
After a day at Rishikesh, the riders climbed further north.
It's been a good run so far. We are heading to Gangotri, stay there tonight. Take a dubki in the Ganges.
The ride to Gangotri was grueling and extended into the night, but the Dominar's powerful headlamps lit up the bad roads.
कहाँ हैं हम? गंगोत्री में है. हम सोच रहे हैं कि हम नहाए कि ना नहाए. हम नहीं तुम.
After a dip in the holy river, The riders headed towards Badrinath via Joshimath.
That's the Mandagini river, which in turn confluences with Alaknanda, becomes one part of the Ganga. Looks like a painting, man. Rudraprayag, the confluence.
Though the roads were smooth, the weather threw a new set of challenges to the ride. Sudden rain showers made the riders gear up. Heavy rains and slushy roads made the ride tougher, but with the Dominar's superior handling, the riders made short work of it.
The Dominar is held up beautifully and made unpredictable weather and terrain look easy.
The route from Chamoli to Badrinath was dangerous, and there were high alerts all along.
High alert declare हुआ है Uttarakhand में last 3-4 दिन से. This is what's happened in the last 3 days.
Another landslide forced Sarath and DK to cancel Badrinath altogether and head to Niti Valley instead.
That's what you're gonna ride for the whole day.
Riding through the clouds, the riders made it to the beautiful valley. Heavy army activity forced the riders to stay in Niti Valley longer than they had planned. But the riders were not complaining. Soaked in tranquility, the riders left the valley and headed towards the last bit of the leg to Munsiyari. The uphill climb was fun to ride as the Dominar's powerful engine kept the riders going.
So we've been riding from that mountain somewhere on the other side. Climbed it, got down, got on the other one, got down, third one, and this is the fourth one right now. We are still about 18 kilometers to Munsiyari.
At the highest point, they found themselves staring at the Panchachuli peaks. The view was breathtaking.
So the peak is Bhima. Then you have 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 5 of it.
After nearly 20 days of riding through the twisting Himalayan roads, the riders began their descent. The Uttarakhand leg was nearing its end. Delhi marks the end of DK's adventure. Stay tuned for the next leg of the journey, in which Sarath and a new rider take on new adventures in Nepal.